The title Huroku mauo-sama, or The Devil's a Part-Timer, pretty much sums up this entire anime. You have the devil himself making a living while working at McRonald's.
Boy, I feel like I haven't eaten in a week. Hey, if we pass a McDaniel's or a Burger Queen, let's hop out.
Oh, that's right, we're on television.
So what else could you possibly ask for in a comedy anime? Like, seriously. Well, let's dive deep and find out what makes this anime so special, in my opinion. Our story begins in a fantasy world called Ente Isla, where the Demon Lord is just about to finish ruling the whole world, until the Dark Lord and his generals suffer defeat from the humans led by the heroic hero. Choosing to retreat from harm and return to fight another day, the Dark Lord and his faithful general Alsiel open a portal out of the world of Ente Isla and lead through it. The world that they travel to is nothing that they ever encountered before, present-day Tokyo in Japan, a place without magic and which forces the demonic Dark Lord to lose his form in favor of a human body along with his general. Sadao and Alsiel suddenly find themselves in an ordinary world that doesn't know anything about the supernatural. Recognizing no demons and an absence of magic not only makes it nearly impossible for the two demons to uphold their own magic and their own form, but restricts their ability to return to Ente Isla. The two demons suddenly find themselves in a bit of a predicament, and the challenges facing them is likes that they've never faced before, at least in which the understanding of cultural norms of the world, locating shelter, and most importantly, finding a job to earn money. This is the story of a demon lord that has to work at a fast food restaurant, McRonald's, while learning to live a life without magic and tackling the normal issues of a normal man. While his intentions is to eventually rise through the ranks of the human system and conquer the new world, he must contend that the fact as a demon lord, his one and only skill is conquest. Besides the world traveling part of the story, I believe most of the story is quite original. I mean, where else do you find an overlord demon working in McDonald's? Despite others saying that the pacing was very slow, I honestly do think it was appropriate, not too slow or too fast. As for the comedy, romance, and fantasy aspect, Huroku uses absurd and cliche ideas and incorporates it in a very outrageous yet sensational anime that makes it outright hilarious. The secret of the show, at least as far as I can see, lies in the ability to create an interesting dynamic between the characters. This could be a story of just a couple of teens trying to make it in this world, except these characters know little about this world at all. More importantly, they're prone to running into all sorts of supernatural beings, some of which like to harbor manifestic thoughts toward our heroes, and in some cases, come down to figure out who is who. After all, whenever one crosses into the human world, they take a human form. Hell, the fact that this story can turn a devil of a being into some primary hero is enough to ping my interest. I love the first meeting between Maou, the demon lord, and Emilia, the hero, both completely vulnerable in the world that they don't understand, but nonetheless, they continue their long, natural feud. It was funny seeing Maou trying to leave his normal life while the suspicious Emilia stalks his every move, determining to catch him in the act of committing evil. And certainly behind his polite smile and normal hardworking life behind the counter of McRonald's restaurant is a dark scheme to take over this particular world of Earth. It's not that Maou ever denied the fact that he did intend to rule this world. It's accept the course of with no magic in his hand. He has determined to use his skills as a human to rise through the ranks and to earn the respect and loyalty to those who surround him. Emilia, Sadao, Lucifer, and Alsiel all made this show extremely fun to watch. Their back and forth battering brought many funny and enjoyable moments throughout this anime. We also had our fill of super cute female leads. Each of all the three females in the show varied in personality. Emilia was a very cold and ruthless one, while Chiro has a very cheerful attitude with huge boobs, and the other female lead, Suzuno, who I won't talk so much about since it will spoil a few things about her, but she does have a little bit of a secret which I found very interesting as a character, and she also turned out to be my most favorite character out of the entire cast. The show does have a lot of Maou elements, and it's not putting all its eggs into the basket, since the plot flows so well because of the character interactions. Plus, the cuteness is just a sweet little add-on that I just love in my opinion. The animation for me was pretty excellent. There are some truly awesome quality shots in this anime, such as the scene in the daylight under the tree in the park of the last episode, or the final fight scene in episode 12. The character models are also very well done, and seeing how the very cute anime girls of all the female leads have a unique charm from their design, I think it's even safe to say that Chiro is now the most adorable anime girl that I've ever seen with freakishly huge boobs. I just want to give them, her, a big old hug, I'm just saying. Also, I forgot to mention that this anime does a very great job with the animation of Chiro with face. Stop! The animation is really good, with slight problems, but nothing that is concerning. The opening theme is Zero by Miyami Kurabashi, and the ending themes are Sukehana, Star Chart, and Tubugishi Hani by Nano Reap. Although I found the opening and the first ending quite catchy at the first listen, to be honest, none of them really highlight the comedy nature of the show, which I found a little bit disappointing. And in the show music, it really didn't catch any of my attention, and aren't really noteworthy enough in my opinion either. I found that the sound is a little bit lacking, and certainly the poor side of this entire show. So let's talk about personal enjoyment. One of the strongest strengths that I found in this anime, for me personally, is the mix of the humor and the seriousness. mauo-sama does not throw the more serious Ente Isla aside after changing the setting, nor does it downplay it. In all actuality, it uses it to its advantage to create some truly spectacular episodes with both some shonen action, some grief situations, and humor just at the right times. This mix is really unlike that I've seen in plenty of other rocoms, and it's very welcoming for the change that differentiates mauo-sama from the crowd of its genre. Personally, I love this anime. I did begin watching this particular series with rather low expectations. The over-top effects of the start quickly informed me that this anime was trying to deceive me by thinking it was some supernatural / action true story, but rather I would soon venture into a comedic plotline, and indeed I did. Yet I wanted to, lose interest just to see if I would, but more or less I just craved to continue to watch for more episodes. So let's recap about this anime in a pros and cons perspective. Basically, it has dynamic fun characters with strong interaction, which I love in every anime. I think every anime needs strong interactions with their characters because, to be honest, for me, it invests me into this in the anime. And this anime is in no means the best I've ever seen in strong interactions, especially on a comedic standpoint. It's really good and well put out. The jokes are really great, the gags are very clever, and the cover varies from different types of comedy, which I love. The writing is solid and can be dramatic at one point and then fake out the viewer like myself, which provided a great effect in my opinion. And as well, the great voice work that was put on with the production was really well done. I mean, they do so good by delivering the gags in serious moments, even if you're watching the sub or dub, which the sub does focus a little bit more heavier on what I've noticed on the serious points, but either way, both are very funny and they're both really well done from the voice actors and actresses, which I love. Or I guess cons, I have to say, is that it is incredibly short for my taste. It is a mere 13 episodes, which isn't enough in my opinion, but if you are an anime viewer who doesn't like to get invested too hard with long animes, this may actually be more of a pro than anything for you. And as well, another kind of more serious, a very slight con would have to be that it has a few low points in the story, which again provide a little bit of a disclarity on certain episodes, especially toward the end, where a particular episode which I think some people may not find enjoyable, since it does remove a little bit of the comedy aspect to focus more on more of a plot progression, which I guess was kind of a bad episode, but it didn't really bother me as much as for me, but it may bother you as a viewer. So for my overall score from my plot, characters, animation, sound, and personal enjoyment that I took to evaluate and calculate into my overall score, it has to come down to, I'd say, to a 7.82 out of 10, which, again, kind of a bit of a low since I did praise a little bit about this anime, but it is still worth checking out and I definitely recommend watching it. So who would I recommend this anime to? Really, anyone that enjoys a good laugh. I honestly don't think I can say anything bad about this particular series on a personal level, although again, I will say this, that the one episode that I mentioned isn't really particularly enjoyable for some viewers. It basically discards the comedy and just focuses on plot progression. But unless you're really devoted to the plot, it really wasn't that bad of an episode. Honestly though, if this is the worst thing I could ever say about this series, also besides it's also very short for my taste, since again, 13 episodes is way too short for this anime since I really enjoyed it, then it's a must watch. You must watch it. It is a must see. Speaking about similarities, here are two other anime I will give you guys to dive into that has similarities that this anime holds. First would have to be This Is a Zombie. It's very similar in the humor and it also has very similar characters and art style. It also deals with the supernatural / heaven / hell themes and a male protagonist surrounded by girls. I really enjoy both of these series since they provide very dark and seriousness when they need to be, but they also can be very light and funny at the right moments. My other recommendation would have to be, let's say Blood Lad. Both male leads are very powerful demons, both are, the typical shonen leads, and the comedy and the overall setting is kind of similar, and both that they also provide a little bit of a small subplot of romance, which doesn't really go anywhere, but it's also still there. Anyways, as usual, this wraps up my review of The Devil's a Part-Timer. If you guys did enjoy this, of course, hit that like button. It's always widely appreciated. As well, comment down below what you guys initially thought about this review. And as well, have you seen this anime? I'd love to hear it and have a great conversation about it. Regardless, my name is JC, and I'll see you guys next time on my next anime-related video. Peace, guys.